Mm. Hi there. Hello. We're back for another Wednesday Wisdom with Devon. And it is me, Devon. Hello there. I am an integrative health expert and teacher, a holistic life coach, an Ayurvedic health advisor, a lover, a wife, a friend, all the things. And of course, probably my most favorite, don't tell my partner, is the founder of the InnerSpark Method, my baby, where I teach sensitive deep feelers how to overcome the impacts of a lifetime of mismanaged and misunderstood sensitivity so that they may ditch things like burnout and anxiety and constantly feeling like there's something wrong with them, constantly feeling like they need to fix themselves, and those really annoying and like getting in the way of life health problems that so many sensitive people experience. I teach them to overcome these things so that they can finally thrive with confidence and ease and joy for life, for the long haul. And so today, my friends, today we are talking about the mind. The mind. And I'm going to share 3 really simple ways that you can begin to collaborate with your precious mind so that it's no longer the source of things like anxiety and overthinking all the things and feeling so overwhelmed. So let's get into it. I would love to hear, before we go any further, what the biggest obstacle for you with your mind is. So do you like overthink all the things? Do you feel really overwhelmed? I know for sensitive, deep feeling people, like we are super sensitive. So that means we are constantly like perceiving with our senses, right? We're like really picking up on all of the things that most other people are missing out on, right? Like, because we're wired differently. So we're like seeing things and hearing things and smelling and just like constantly sensing, even if it's more of like that kind of sixth sense, energetic sensing, like there's a lot happening and a lot that we're taking in. And so sometimes it can feel really just like, oh, right? Like you want to just go kind of in your special corner, and just turn it off, right? I have my own special corner. I actually have a few of them in my house. I'm lucky. So depending on the mood, what kind of quiet I need, what kind of chill I'm looking for, what my chill vibe is. I have a couple of little special places to just go shut it down. So tell me about your special shutdown places, your special mind timeout places. So a key part of what I teach is how sensitivity is not the problem, right? Your sensitivity, no, I say right. Most of you are probably like, wrong. Like my sensitivity is the problem. I am here to try to fix it. The thing is, sorry, you're not going to fix it or make it go away because it's not something that needs to be fixed. And it's not something that you want to go away. And so long as you're in this beautiful form and body that you're in for this lifetime, you're going to be a highly sensitive person. Like, sorry, not sorry. That's just the way it is. So a key part of what I teach people is that sensitivity is not the problem. Okay. The problem is how we are or aren't, most of the time, if it feels like a problem, aren't managing it and caring for it. So if you're feeling like your sensitivity is a problem, like you're too sensitive, like the things that are going wrong in your life are because of your sensitivity, then it's being mismanaged. Yeah. And so we need to care for it, understand it, manage it with focused, strategic, tailored things for our sensitive system, and ensure that our lives are built upon a foundation of quality self-care that is definitely meeting the needs of our sensitive system. And so I teach what I call the 5 elements framework. And these are the 5 main aspects of our being that must be tended in order to truly, truly thrive. And so one of those 5 elements is the mind, the mind. And, the mind is so powerful. It is so powerful. It is so beautiful. And it can also be, I see a comment. It can also be, hey, Taryn, thank you for being here, love. In your bed. Yeah. You like it there and you do just about everything from there. I've accepted this and now the world shall do the same. You know what? And screw the world if they don't accept it because they might not, right? Most of the world is on this trajectory to accept these normal, quote, ways of being that are not natural and that are not supportive. And so, they might not accept it, and who cares? Because you're happy and you have your cozy place in your bed for the mind to shut off. So this mind of ours, this place between our ears, is so powerful, right? So powerful beyond our comprehension. And it's also the source, when we have a case of misunderstood and mismanaged sensitivity, the source of trouble for us. And like I said, we're constantly feeling and we're sensing. And then the mind kind of becomes like the ringleader, right? It's like drawing all of these conclusions about our life experiences and how we should or shouldn't be. And it has all these guidelines and filters, and it thinks it's doing the right thing. It thinks it's doing the things that are necessary to keep us safe, for whatever we have dubbed safe, whatever we've come to believe that looks like. And it is just doing the things, right? So it becomes like the ringleader, and it's kind of carrying us along for the ride, and we don't even all the time even realize that that's what's happening. We just kind of like go along, like it's this kind of like inner like oppressive authority figure that we're just like, okay, like going along doing the things. And so it's like this ringleader. And a question I love to ask is like, we wouldn't give in to the whim of an unruly toddler, would we? No. And so why do we do it with our mind? With an unruly toddler, we would listen, we would stay grounded, we'd observe, and we would be very just kind of curious and neutral. And so this is how I invite us to start to shift our relationship of our mind. Because like I said, so many of us are blaming our sensitivity. We're blaming our mind. It's like, I'm so sensitive, I'm the problem. There's a lot of internalizing and shaming ourselves, blaming ourselves for something that is so inherently natural to who we are, being a sensitive, deep feeling, deep thinking person. And so then this tool that is our mind becomes this kind of adversary, this like, so these 3 ways are, they might sound simple, and you might be like, this sounds boring or whatever. Like it's not sexy enough, right? I'm not telling you to like go do some crazy practice or like stand on your head for 10 minutes. I mean, you could do that would be cool. But these 3 ways that I invite you to explore, and kind of keeping in mind this, no pun intended, this image of this unruly toddler, like how would we respond to this tantruming child? And so the first way is to build stability in ourselves. And again, none of this is like a one and done thing, like, oh, I'm gonna just do this one time and then I'm good. Like life is a process, it's an ongoing journey until we are done. And so these things are things to build upon. Okay, so anyways, we build stability in ourselves. That's 1. And so that looks like creating really solid foundations for ourselves, really solid rhythms. That's another thing that is so instrumental in what I teach in the InnerSpark Method. We have these daily rhythms practices. So we build this sense of stability. There creates this sense of self-trust, this sense of like predictability. And so the system can find a sense of calm. It's not in this keyed up chaos place. And then the mind can begin to quiet and soften and let go of its like gripping of perceiving and trying to fix and So stability brings a sense of freedom and safety and trust. So this looks like, regular sleeping, regular meals, following the rhythms of the day, the seasons of the day and the seasons of the year, the seasons of your life, having those rhythms, building stability. The second, and this is probably the most crucial, is taking time to process and digest all of that sensory input from your lives. Things just continue to get more, right? Things come at us when we don't even want them to. I can't remember what I was doing the other day, but I was like, why is there an ad right now? Like, why? What is happening? So things are constantly coming, and we're also busy. And when the mind is in that overactive place, that really keyed up place, it kind of wants more of that. And so it's going to like want us to do more. And so then the cycle continues, and we've never digested the previous input. Everything has to be digested, whether it's what we eat or what we see or hear, like everything we take in needs time to process and digest. So we started today talking about those cozy places that we can go to in our house. Taryn likes her bed. I have a little corner. I'm looking at it. That's what I'm looking at. It's in my office over here. So those places we can go to shut it off with no stimulation. So resting is not like, oh, I'm reading a book or I'm listening to music, or I'm listening to a podcast. Those things can be nice and relaxing, but the rest I'm talking about is like nothing. Just letting it kind of settle and digest. And lastly, cultivating this sense of fascination and wonder with yourself. Often we are so in the state of frustration with ourselves, so in the state of, I have to fix myself, there's something wrong with me, I'm the problem, I'm too sensitive, I'm this, I'm that, and we're just so harsh and critical. There's no space for curiosity. There's just this like sharpness and this dislike and resentment and disdain. Yeah. And I know that all too well. I spent decades of my life in that place. Hating and self-destructing were something I was very, very, very good at. So if we can shift that into a place of curiosity and constant kind of self-inquiry, because this mind is freaking fascinating. Totally, totally fascinating. So when we can build stability, that was number one, we can then stop following the whims of all of it and build in time and space to really digest with no stimulation and no input. That was number two. And then finally, from there, when we're observing and we're stable, we can be like, wow, that's like a really fascinating thought I just came up with, or that story I just came up with, instead of following along with it and getting really swept up in it, right? So building stability, taking time to process and digest, so no stimulation, no input, and getting really curious and like observing what's happening, because it's so much fun. It's so fascinating. And so from there, we can really build just acceptance and compassion and all of these really beautiful things that I remember once upon a time kind of like hearing about, right? Like, oh, I'm going to have compassion with myself. And I told you I was really good at hating myself and all the disdain and the cynicism. And I was like, what is there to be compassionate about? Blah, 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 blah. And I promise you that it's possible and it's there. And you're a super fascinating and beautiful creature, like totally. And so this is how you can uncover that and also see it for yourself. So that's what I have for you today. We could talk so much more about the mind. I am so curious to hear how you relate with your mind, how you are building a sense of stability so that you can work with your mind a little bit more neutrally, with neutrality and with observation. And tell me about your cozy corners of your home where you can go and just shut it all off. So share with me. That's what I have. And this is part of what we do in the InnerSpark Method program, because the truth is, sensitive people must do things differently in order to fully thrive in their lives. They need to do things differently to support the needs of their sensitive systems. Otherwise, trying to keep up with what's normal in this modern life and the ways that you're blaming yourself and resenting yourself and on a constant quest and crusade to fix yourself are just going to keep yielding more of the burnout, more of the crippling anxiety, more of that sense of overwhelm and feeling like there's something wrong with you. It's a vicious cycle, and more of the health challenges. Absolutely. And so in order to overcome those things, you got to do some things differently. And I know that feels weird and scary because you're like, well, I resent myself. I feel ashamed of who I naturally am. I feel like my sensitivity is a problem. I hear you. And so those two things, needing to do something differently and having a lot of resentment and shame towards yourself, that's the twofold root cause of why life feels so hard as a sensitive person. And that's exactly what we address in the InnerSpark Method. Both of those things. It's a whole person, trauma-informed, beautiful community program, support, accountability, various integrative and holistic tools and modalities that you're learning, and you get to naturally and sustainably rebuild a foundation of self-care for yourself that is targeted directly for the unique needs of the sensitive person. So if you've had it with the way that things are and you are ready to make some serious changes in your life, then reach out to me because we're open for enrollment. I have spent the last 2 weeks straight doing some massive updates, and I would love to have you. So let's talk about ways to get you on a sustainable path of thriving and enjoying your precious, precious life. So head over to the innersparkmethod.com or reach out to me and let's chat. And I will see you next time. Mwah. Thank you so much for being here and tuning in. Bye-bye.